And on Quick Insight, I'm joined by Julius Mukunda, who is the coordinator of Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group. You could choose to call it CSBAG. What is their contention, particularly with the budget framework paper? Good afternoon, Julius, and thank you so much for joining us.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Yes, we haven't seen each other in a long while. But starting off with the budget framework paper that was presented before Parliament, what is your contention with it as CSBAG?
The contention, I think, on the budget framework paper is the biggest part is the level of domestic borrowing that we're going to incur. We wouldn't mind about borrowing, but considering that our capacity to absorb resources is limited, and as such, we are still now going ahead to borrow more money. Because the author general is telling us that 18 trillion is the amount of loans that have not been disbursed, but committed, but we have not utilized it. And yet we continue to pay commitment fees of those particular loans. So that's our biggest area. And the other one that could be is that we have seen serious cut in the social sectors, especially for health and education. And for education specifically, we are seeing a cut in skills education that will promote employment for the youth. We are seeing cut for UPE, cut for USE. We are worried that if we are talking about quality of education, it is something that is really going to have a serious impact on. And above all is that there are certain expenditures we still think are wasteful.
For example?
To allocate 10 billion to buy hose in this country, we strongly
It was a presidential pledge now that should be fulfilled.
Yes, but I think we could revise it like we have revised all other expenditures. That probably it was important during the campaigns, maybe it's not important right now. And as such, it is very, very important that we scale down on those expenditures we think are wasteful, save enough resources so that we can finance the social sector.
What do you think could have brought about the reduction in funding for education? Because I do remember during the campaigns, the president did say after the campaigns, we'll sit down and reassess whether we still need UPE and USE. Do you think it's becoming, it's stepping down in the top priorities of the president?
If that was the major reason, we would have not had a problem. But I think there are those sectors where we would have cut most. For example, we would have reduced on the expenses that Parliament is incurring at the particular moment. 64 billion for buying vehicles. Probably would have stopped on that particular priority. Would have probably tightened our belts in terms of negligence, because we are incurring extra costs because of negligence. They are telling us, according to the budget framework paper, that ministries continue to fire staff arbitrarily, and then they are sued, and then we pay legal costs.
Sure.
That is negative, because if you fire a person without the authority of the Solicitor General, already you are in red. So if that's the case, we don't have a problem. We would sit down, look at priorities that we consider, we look at areas that we don't consider as priorities, drop them, and then we finance the budget. And now, because for us, but we think that the drop is because less money is coming in. Collections for URA is increasing only by 14%, is increasing by only 1 trillion at 14 trillion. But also because of that, and also is that the amount of money we are paying to service the loan on interest payment has also skyrocketed, because now the amount of money we are paying on loans takes a third of the entire national budget. Well,
last but not least, let's relook at the impact of internal borrowing that government is hoping to increase more. Just the other year, the year ending, we had a lot of discussion about bailouts. How does that affect our economy in this particular time?
So since now they bailed out the big companies, I think government should be prepared to even to bail out me and you to come to work. Why? Because the cause for the bailout was because government has increased the domestic borrowing. When you increase domestic borrowing, there is less money for private sector to borrow from. It increases the interest rates. And that's why companies were suffering. They could not be able to pay back the debt. Now, instead of coming further down to reduce our domestic borrowing, we are seeing now domestic borrowing increasing up to 1.4 trillion. So our fight to bring down interest rates, to make the cost of credit less, is almost lost. So companies, tighten your belts. Me and you,
we need to tighten. Now, finally, since you have a contention with the budget framework paper that has been presented before Parliament, what's the next course of action?
We have organized, right now we are engaging Parliament seriously. We are even engaging government on a serious note. Oh, by the way, this is a national budget framework paper. It contains proposals of what the government is planning to do, and is seeking our support and our input. And this is what we're exactly doing.
Okay.
We have already prepared our position papers, submitted them to Parliament, to Ministry of Finance, and next week on Tuesday, we're having a public dialogue to further analyze and discuss these issues.
Bringing up the proposals are taken, definitely. I've been speaking to Julius Mukunda, who is the coordinator of Civil Society Budget Advocacy Group, and they're particularly having contention with the budget framework paper that has been presented before Parliament, and most especially the increasing in internal borrowing by government that is going to affect the private sector. That's it on Quick Insight.